Hi everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul. Today we're going to be doing an overview of the Panasonic G2 digital camera as well as the micro 4/3 lens mount system that it features, and we also have a micro 4/3 lens that we're going to show you as well. So before we start talking about the features of the camera itself, let's take a look at what comes with it. You get a nice shoulder strap as well as the included 14 to 42 millimeter detachable micro 4/3 lens, which features an f-stop range of 3.5 to 5.6. You also get a battery charger with the included cable. Of course, you get the battery, which we've already installed in the camera right now. Apart from that, inside the box you will get several manuals in varying languages. They give you a nice little carrying pouch for your lens if you upgrade to a new lens and you need something to carry it in. Here are a few audio video cables and connection cables. And then this item right here on the back is actually sort of an oddly shaped stylus that you can use because the G2 actually features a touchscreen LCD display. And then there's a little hood for your lens if you're shooting in daylight situations. So a big question that comes to mind when looking at this camera is what's the difference between the G2 and more traditional DSLRs? Which is a very good question. It does separate itself from your point and shoots because it has a detachable lens using the micro 4/3 lens mount system. But other than that, there is a few other unique features. For instance, the lens finder or the viewfinder here is not an optical viewfinder. It is a digital viewfinder. So when you're looking at that, there's actually a digital screen in there that's showing the same thing that would be on your LCD right there. But we'll get back to that LCD. It is very special as well. What you get out of using the micro 4/3 system is that this is noticeably smaller than most DSLRs that you see, and it does use the unique lens mount system, which pops off just like that. So you can see you can have interchangeable lenses, which you can use for different photo taking situations, and they're pretty easy to install and remove. So let's just go over all of the different buttons, knobs, dials, and other things that are on the camera. Over here on this side you have a little panel that reveals I believe that is a micro HDMI out, as well as your audio video out plug that will go with the cable that comes with the camera. Up here you have sort of a dual use port. This is actually a 2.5 millimeter port right here, but you can use that for an infrared receiver for your remote, or you can also use it as a mic input, which is very handy if you're doing any video shooting. Up here at the top you have dual dial here, which controls some different focus modes and shooting modes. So the top button here will switch between your different shooting modes, and then this other little switch here will switch between autofocus modes that are available at the top, from manual to the different autofocus modes that are available. This switch just pops up the flash. On the top you can see a standard shoe for flashes and other add-on devices. Here in the back there's a small button here, and that will actually manually switch between viewing through the viewfinder or viewing on the screen. But actually this little black bar that you see right there is a sensor, so it will tell when you actually put your eye up to the viewfinder. Reason being, this LCD can flip all the way around and go like that, which is a feature that I personally love in cameras like this. But if you're viewing what you're going to see, like if you're viewing the picture like that and you try to put your eye up to the lens, you might say push your nose up against the touchscreen and accidentally push a button. So that sensor is there to automatically switch back and forth between the two depending on whether or not you have your eye up to that screen. So moving on, over here you have a play button. That's to play back photos and videos that you've taken. There's an autofocus lock right there. This is a little dial. It's pretty, it's for switching between your f-stops and other different modes that you have in the camera. It's located pretty conveniently so you can access that while you have a grip on the camera itself. Moving along, we have our main shooting mode dial right here, which goes between your custom shooting, different manual settings that you have available there, as well as presets that you can switch between. Over here you have shooting mode option that will switch between single shot or multi-shot, as well as time delay. And right down here is your on-off switch. You have an intelligent autofocus button. That's that little red and black button right there. They've actually moved that off of where it used to be with the G1, so it's a little bit more handy to access. You have an independent movie mode button right there, so you can just push that to start recording a movie. You don't have to actually change the mode. Also really handy there because you don't always know when you're going to be needing to shoot a video. You can just push that button and it'll shoot. There's your shutter switch right there. And finally, moving to the controls on the back, you have a Q menu button that will pop up your quick menu. Display button there that will switch between different display modes. And then your basic camera controls here, such as menu, ISO settings, film modes, and other function buttons. And then down here is a shutter. This button has a dual function to control the shutter and to actually get rid of images that you don't want to keep on the memory card. And that is just about it for the physical camera itself. And I should mention your memory card slot is right in there with the battery. Alright, so let's get back over to the LCD screen that I had mentioned. First of all, it's got the swing-out barn door design like this, which I personally like because, for one thing, you can flip it around there to do self-portraits if you're taking a picture of yourself. It's also nice because you can fold it back like that to be able to view whatever you're taking a picture of. But if you're not viewing it like that, you can flip it back around and it keeps the LCD screen nice and protected. Let's go ahead and turn the camera on. I should probably set the clock. There's a nice shot of my arm. But this is a touch screen. And the unique thing about the touch screen is, well, it's a touch screen, but the one thing I like is a lot of cameras that you see a touch screen with, they've actually sacrificed some of the other options, dials, and whatever that are on the camera itself. With the G2, this is supplemental, so you can use the touchscreen if you want, but all of your controls are still available on the rest of the camera if you want to use those, which makes it a bit handier. It's not always the most convenient thing to dig into a touchscreen. So once you're ready to take a picture, you can pretty much just choose any area on the screen. You can move that around to focus wherever you want, and then it actually will also pop up a little bar over here on the right, so you can set the size of the area that you're focusing on. And there's 4 options for that. So handy to be able to focus on whatever part of the image that you want to, especially just indicating it specifically using the touchscreen. Apart from that, there's a couple other modes. This button here, you turn it on or off, and that will just make it so touching the touchscreen will try to take a picture. So this makes it a little bit easier, a much wider area of a button to push to take a picture with that. Turn that off. This is the quick menu, and this will automatically pop up a little menu that will allow you to adjust different functions. They're also available using the knobs up here on the camera, but for instance, you can set whether, the shooting mode that you're in. You can determine the image stabilization mode. Over here, this is for shooting video, and you can choose what video format that you want to record in. I should mention that this camera can record in AVC HD mode, which is a much better compression method, uses a lot less space than a lot of other recording modes that are available. Right here you can set up your aspect ratio and then your shooting modes as well, and it can shoot in RAW. So last on our list here is this additional micro 4/3 lens that we have. This is a Lumix G Vario 45 to 200 millimeter lens. F-stop range is 4.0 to 5.6. Let's just get this out of the box. They do include a lens carrying case, which is very nice to have. These lenses are very delicate and should be handled with care. There's a little hood for the lens. And then here is our lens itself. Packaged very nicely. You see it comes with the lens cover, of course. And let me just show you how you can swap these out. And you should always be careful when you have the lens off. Make sure you don't get any dust or contaminants inside the little lens mount right there. Pretty easy system to mount the lens here. You see the little red dot. Line that up with the red dot on there. That slots in. And then just twist to lock it in place. And that's it. So now we've swapped out the lens. Now we have a 45 to 200 millimeter lens, a much longer focal length available with this one. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Panasonic G2 camera. We did have a chance to do a little bit some test photos with this. which maybe we can share with you as well. Takes really nice, crisp, clear pictures. There's a lot of options available. It really has most of the, or pretty much all of the functions available with most of the DSLRs you have out there these days. And it's much smaller than most of the cameras, or most of the DSLRs that you'll see. So really a great option, especially if you need something that's more portable, and if you're looking to get into some more professional photography and photo taking. The Panasonic G2 is a great option. So there you have it, folks. The Panasonic G2, as well as the 45 to 200 millimeter lens. I'm Paul with Newegg TV. We'll see you next time. Oh, this one? All right. You should trust me because I'm an egg expert.